That's good to know. Aishwarya Paliwal is also joining us live. She's joining us from the Kartavya Path, where in about 30 minutes from now, we're going to have the event kicking off. Aishwarya, I understand you have also some special guests joining you. Go ahead.
Well, a very special guest indeed, Akshita, Gajendra Chauhan, the man who's, played the iconic role of Yudhishthir in B.R. Chopra's Mahabharat. So you have been invited. The unveiling will take place. Once the unveiling is done, do you think it will be a proud moment for India and for those who have been associated with Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose?
I personally feel this moment is coming a little late. It should have been there for a long time back, actually. The kind of honor we have for Netaji. But we are proud that it is coming right now, and with the leadership of Adaniya Pradhan Mantri, Hamare Narendra Modi ji. India is transforming for the betterment, and things are changing very fast. And this is the result of hard work put in by our government today. So I think it's a proud moment for all 140 crore people, and Indians who are staying abroad also, for them also, for everyone. And I personally thank our Honorable Prime Minister for this great moment.
So will you be going once the unveiling is done to see the statue?
Definitely, I would love to see.
You would love
to
see.
Yeah.
So, Prime Minister has been talking about the fact we need to be proud of our Indian culture, and you have been part of one of the most iconic shows on TV. So do you think now we are actually imbibing those qualities? Now the Rajpath has been turned into Kartavya Path. Do you think Indians will now embrace the culture even more?
This is not the beginning of imbibing culture into the next generation. It should have been done from the parent side first, then teacher side, then the government. So another proud moment today that Rajpath is no more Rajpath. We are not under anybody's rule. Nobody's ruling us. Nobody's doing Raj on us. So we'll be, Kartavya Path is like performing your duties towards nation, towards your society, everyone.
So the duty is something that we now need to do. Akshita, we are seeing how dignitaries have been handpicked and they have been invited for the unveiling in just about 25 minutes from now. We'll just pan and show you. We have so many dignitaries who have now been called. We are seeing the central ministers also, Hardeep Puri, being called here. We saw Sanjeev Sania also. All these people are here to witness this iconic moment when the unveiling of the statue will take place in another about 20 minutes. Akshita.
Right, Aishwarya, just stay on with us as we continue getting all the action from the ground and countdown to the mega inauguration that will be happening in 30 minutes from now. Let's talk about the Central Vista Avenue and what it looks like now. What are the changes that the government has brought in to the Kartavya Path, what was once Rajpath? There are granite walkways now along this entire stretch. Light poles, 74 of them have been put up through this entire stretch. Vending machines, vending plazas have also been put up. Essentially, this is done to attract more crowds to the heart of the national capital. A lot more parking space, we're being told, across this entire stretch. So there's no chaos, no overcrowding in the area. There are 2 canals along the sides of this area, and boating now is allowed there. So you see that the essential focus right now of the Modi government with this revamp of Kartavya Path is not just to ensure that it's truly befitting for one of the most iconic, historic and most important stretches of the country, but that it also attracts the crowds that it deserves to. There will also be essentially some sense that you get of the kind of history that we witnessed, which Rahul also told you about just a few moments ago. All of that will also be mentioned along this entire stretch. So the people who visit here know the historic significance of this particular stretch. Gaurav Sawant is also with us here in the studio. And Gaurav, let's focus on the other aspect, the Netaji statue that is being put up today. For so long there's been politics over Netaji. Many of his family members today are saying this is the kind of tribute that we believe Netaji deserves. But they also want a lot more from the Modi government. They're saying this is the first of many steps needed.
So, the thing is, the role of the Azad Hind Fauj, the Indian National Army, the armed struggle for India's independence. Now, it is argued by many, and especially those who were a part of the Indian National Army, that their contribution, their struggle, that actually weakened the British Empire, that actually led to fissures in the British Indian Armed Forces, the mutiny in the Navy, the trouble in the British Indian Air Force, the trouble in the British Indian Army, where soldiers were having trouble fighting their own. They're saying Indians on the other side, and we are killing those Indians. There was a sea change post 1857 in the mindset, so that fire of freedom. They say India needs to know a lot more about how Azad Hind Fauj came together, how the battle was fought in the northeast of India, how that is where the British Empire actually realized that it will fold up, it will not be able to sustain itself, so especially when it had been financially weakened so much in the Second World War. All of that. So there is a museum that is coming up, about the Indian Armed Forces, about the armed struggle. A Netaji museum also being talked about. Azad Hind Fauj, a lot more will be taught in schools. At least that's the hope, that's the aspiration. Another aspect, while they say Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose had a Nehru Brigade or a Gandhi Brigade as part of the Indian National Army, but post-independence, Netaji's role is their point, was curtailed to a quite large extent when Indians, future generations, were actually taught about India's freedom struggle.